Hardy's lawn.
Hardy had a beautiful house. He also had a beautiful garden. In fact, Hardy's garden was the most beautiful in the entire neighborhood. Having a beautiful garden was not easy. Every morning, Hardy woke up early and went outside to tend to his garden. He would water the flowers, cut the grass, and trim the hedges. Then Hardy went on vacation. He was only gone for 4 days, but when he got back, he couldn't believe his eyes. There in the middle of his garden was a dandelion.
No!
Hardy screamed. He ran across the lawn to get a better look at the weed. Then he heard a voice. It was his neighbor Tom.
That little flower popped out while you were gone.
Tom said. Hardy pulled out the dandelion and put it in the trash. That night, Hardy slept well. He knew the dandelion was gone for good. But Hardy was wrong. The next morning, there were 30 dandelions on the lawn. It took Hardy all morning, but he dug up all the dandelions and put them in the trash. As he worked, his neighbor Tom watched.
Those dandelions really don't look that bad, you know,
Tom said.
They're actually kind of pretty. I'm not going to let weeds ruin my lawn,
said Hardy. By the next morning, the entire lawn was covered with dandelions. Hardy was desperate. He bought the most powerful weed-killing chemicals he could find. Then he sprayed the chemicals all over his lawn. He even sprayed his roses so the dandelions couldn't hide among them. The next morning, Hardy's lawn looked terrible. It was covered with holes and brown grass. Even the flowers were dying.
Those weeds have ruined my yard,
yelled Hardy. In the next yard, Tom was watching.
The weeds didn't ruin your yard,
said Tom.
You were the one that dug all the holes and sprayed chemicals on everything. Carol the Mouse. Carol the Mouse did not like school. Though she didn't mind PE, she just about hated everything else. Languages were the worst.
Why do I need to study languages?
Asked Carol.
Everybody I know speaks mouse.
Carol's mother was very wise and always gave Carol the same answer.
The world is a surprising place,
she said.
You never know when a second language might come in handy.
Carol did not believe her mother. Then one day Carol was eating crumbs on the kitchen floor. She was so busy she did not see the large black shadow moving slowly towards her. It was a cat. By the time Carol saw the cat, it was too late. Carol ran as fast as her 4 small legs would carry her. The cat chased her. She ran under the table and around a chair, but no matter how fast she ran, the cat kept getting closer. Near the refrigerator, Carol's mother was busy cleaning outside their hole. When she looked up to see what Carol was doing, she saw her daughter running across the kitchen floor with the cat right behind her. When Carol's mother saw that her daughter would never make it to the safety of their hole, she knew just what to do. Just as the cat was about to pounce, Carol's mother began barking like a dog. She barked in a loud, clear voice. The sound of a dog barking scared the cat so much that it jumped up onto the table in fright. Carol and her mother ran safely into their hole. As Carol lay out of breath in their hole, her mother shook a finger and said,
I told you a second language can come in handy.
Ox's broken horn.
One day, Ox was resting on the grass when Rat climbed up onto his back.
What happened to your horn, Ox?
He asked.
"Oh, what's wrong with my horn?"
asked Ox.
One of your horns is broken,
answered Rat.
You didn't know?
Ox ran to the pond to look at his reflection. Sure enough, the tip of one of his horns had broken off.
"Oh, how could this have happened?"
cried Ox.
"Now I look so ugly. What should I do?"
So Rat tried to help Ox think of a way to fix his horn. First, they tried using some mud to put on the tip of his broken horn. It looked like his horn was not broken anymore. But when it rained the next day, the mud washed off into Ox's eyes and he couldn't see. Rat helped Ox clean off the mud. Next, he found a branch and tied it to Ox's horn. But soon a bird flew around Ox's head, making him very dizzy. Then the bird flew away with the branch and used it for her nest. Then Rat found a rock and tied it to Ox's horn. But the rock was so heavy that Ox could not walk straight. He kept walking in circles. Ox took off the rock and felt much better. He could walk straight again. Birds did not fly around his head, and rain did not wash mud into his eyes. He went to look at his reflection in the pond again.
Maybe I don't look so bad the way I am after all,"
he said, and his friend Rat agreed.
Adventures at Sea. "Let's go!"
called Pirate Pete to his pirate friends.
"It's time to set sail!" "All right, Captain!"
shouted Pirate Sam. The sky was blue and the sea was calm as they sailed away from land. Pirate Pete had a treasure map, and his 9 friends were sailing with him to find the treasure. But out on the open sea, a strong wind suddenly blew the treasure map right out of Pirate Pete's hands.
"Help!"
He called to his friends.
"Map overboard!" "All right,"
said Pirate Pete.
"Which one of you brave pirates will go after the map?"
Pirate Sam was just about to jump into the water to get the map when Pirate Pete yelled,
"Wait! Sharks!"
Pirate Sam joined his friends and watched as sharks swam circles around their map. Then suddenly they swam away.
Why did they leave?
Then they saw why. A huge octopus was in the water, waving its long arms in the air and chasing after the sharks. As the octopus swam away, it made a big wave that carried the map away from the ship.
"Follow that wave!"
called Pirate Pete. They steered their ship in the direction of the wave and landed on a small island. They got off the ship and swam to the beach. In the sand was the map. Pirate Pete picked up the map and started to cry.
"It's ruined!"
He cried as he gave the map to Pirate Sam. The map was soggy and it fell apart in Pirate Sam's hands.
"Oh, Pete,"
Sam said,
"don't be sad. There will always be other treasure to find."
Pirate Sam felt bad for Pete. He stuck his shovel in the sand so that he could give him a hug. Then the shovel hit the sand. There was a loud thunk.
"Huh? There's something in the sand. Let's start digging."
All 10 pirates worked together and dug out a big box. When they opened it, they found 20 gold coins.
We all worked together to find this treasure, so we should share it evenly,
said Pirate Sam. And so each of the pirates got 2 gold coins, and an amazing adventure none of them would forget.
Summer Camp Rescue.
Mom, Dad, please don't send me to the summer camp this year.
Kara begged. We have no other choice, honey, Kara's dad explained. We have to go to work, and we can't leave you home alone. Besides, you'll get a lot of fresh air and exercise.
I hate fresh air and exercise.
Kara objected. Three weeks later, Kara went off to summer camp. The first sport she had to do was swimming. Kara was already good at swimming because she had done it at summer camp every year for the last 4 years. She didn't like it, but after so many lessons, she was a good swimmer. She could swim across the small pond at the camp without any trouble at all. Then came rowing. Even though Kara had rowed a boat many times before, she was still terrible at it. It was her least favorite activity. Kara got into a boat with 3 other people. They had to take turns rowing the boat around the pond. While she was waiting her turn, she noticed a female duck sitting on a rock with her ducklings around her. She watched the duck jump off the rock and into the pond. All of the ducklings stayed on the rock except one. The duckling jumped off the rock and followed its mother, but Kara could see that it could not swim well yet. The duckling needed help. From the boat, Kara jumped into the water. She quickly swam over to where the duckling was, scooped it up, and placed it back onto the rock. Then the duckling stood up, shook itself off, and walked back to its brothers and sisters.
You scared me, you little daredevil,
Kara said, laughing. The rest of the summer, Kara enjoyed swimming and rowing around the pond. Each time she was at the pond, she got to see the duckling she named Daredevil. By the end of summer camp, Daredevil was not a duckling anymore. He was a duck. When it was time for Kara to leave camp, she went to the pond and said goodbye to him.
Goodbye, Daredevil,
she said.
I'll see you again next summer.
And for once, Kara was actually looking forward to next year's summer camp. Bobby's Barbecue.
Bobby, do you want a hot dog or a hamburger?
Bobby's dad asked. Bobby answered.
I'd like a hot dog, please.
Bobby loved barbecues. He loved being outside with his family, splashing in the pool and playing in the backyard. He really loved hot dogs.
We're out of hot dog buns. Bobby, can you go to the basement and get some from the freezer?
Bobby's dad asked.
Oh, okay,
Bobby said. He headed into the house, opened the door to the basement, and went down the stairs. Just as Bobby was opening the large freezer store, he heard the door to the basement slam shut. A gust of wind had blown the door closed. Bobby went upstairs and tried to open the door, but no one could hear him from outside. There was a window in the basement. He tried to open the window, but it was jammed. Now what? Then Bobby saw a girl in his neighbor's backyard. He banged on the window and waved his hands. The girl looked up and saw Bobby in the window.
Help!
I'm stuck in the basement.
Bobby yelled. How will she know that I need help? Bobby thought. She can't even hear me. The girl turned around and walked away.
Great,
said Bobby angrily.
Now what?
A few minutes later, the basement door opened. It was his mother. Standing next to her was Mrs. Healy, their neighbor, and the girl Bobby saw. Bobby, are you okay? Asked his mother. It's a good thing that Sarah came over to tell us you were locked in the basement.
But how did you know what I was saying?
He asked Sarah.
You couldn't hear what I was saying.
Sarah smiled and made gestures with her hands. She said that she read your lips, said Mrs. Healy. Sarah is my niece. She's visiting from out of town. Sarah's deaf. As Mrs. Healy spoke, Bobby saw that Sarah was watching Mrs. Healy's lips. She hears people by watching people's lips move. Mrs. Healy continued.
Wow, that's cool,
Bobby said.
Sarah, do you want to stay for our barbecue?
Sarah watched his lips, smiled, and nodded her head.
So do you like hot dogs or hamburgers?
He asked. Sarah made the sign for hot dog.
I think we're going to be good friends,
said Bobby.
Natalie's Big Race.
At first, Natalie didn't like the water. In fact, she hated it. While her brother splashed and swam in the pool, Natalie would sit by the side and watch. Then one day, something changed. Natalie stood up, jumped into the water, and started to swim.
Before long, Natalie was a terrific swimmer. She was so good she started to swim in races. Then she started to win races. Soon, she was one of the best swimmers in South Africa. Finally, she became one of the best swimmers in the world.
Natalie had learned to love swimming. She would practice for hours and hours every day. She practiced in the morning and she practiced at night. She practiced so much that her parents had to buy her a scooter so she could get from the pool to school and back again.
Then something terrible happened. Natalie had finished her morning swim and was heading to school when a car hit her. Natalie's leg was seriously injured. Though the doctors tried to help her, Natalie lost her leg. But she still wanted to swim.
Less than 6 months after losing her leg, Natalie jumped back in the pool. At first, swimming without her leg was hard. With only one leg to kick, she actually swam in circles. But Natalie still wouldn't give up.
Her arms got stronger. She learned to use one leg to dive into the water. She even learned to bend her foot so it would help her steer in the water.
Then she started competing again. At first, she swam in short races against other people with disabilities. But then Natalie started racing against able-bodied athletes.
Though it wasn't easy, Natalie could still compete with the best swimmers in the world. In fact, Natalie was the first amputee to qualify for the Olympic Games. She was even chosen to carry South Africa's flag at the opening ceremony.
Natalie didn't win at her first Olympics, but she did show the world how much you can do when you work hard and don't give up.